In the shimmering soul of Lagos, where ocean winds twirl like dancers and the city hums like a living heartbeat, dwelled a young man named Yushaan. His life was simple, yet his heart was vast, a restless ocean longing for peace. For months, hardship had wrapped itself around him like a heavy cloak. The job he hoped for slipped away. The savings he guarded vanished in a sudden storm of expenses. And his dreams, once bright like lanterns floating over water, began dimming one by one. Yushaan walked every morning across the third mainland bridge, watching fishermen cast their nets with hands carved by hope. Sometimes he wished he had wings that could lift him from worry and carry him into certainty. One dawn, painted with lavender clouds and the soft hum of waking birds, Yushaan met an elderly man named Zuhair. His beard was silver like moonlit foam, and his smile carried the grace of someone who'd already traveled the deserts of the heart. He asked gently, "Why does sorrow sit on your shoulders like a tired crow, my son?" Yushaan sighed. "I have nothing left to hold on to. Everything is slipping through my fingers." Zuhair closed his eyes for a moment, letting the breeze kiss his face. Then, in a voice woven with tranquility, he spoke the words that shook Yushaan's soul. The messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "If you rely upon Allah with true reliance, as reliance is his due, He will provide for you just as He provides for the birds. They leave their nests in the morning with empty stomachs and return in the evening with their bellies full." The city seemed to pause. The buses, the waves, the winds, everything fell silent. Yushaan felt a warm pressure behind his eyes, the kind that appears when truth finally lands in a tired heart. That very morning, he walked not with desperation, but with surrender. His steps softened, his heartbeat slowed, and his soul unclenched, like a fist finally learning how to open. As he wandered through the streets of Lagos Island, the world around him seemed to shimmer with a quiet enchantment, as if the city itself had been waiting for his heart to soften before revealing its hidden doors. Sunlight spilled through palm leaves like threads of gold, guiding him forward, and every breeze carried the fragrance of possibility. Then, in the most unexpected corner of the marketplace, a shopkeeper he had once helped long ago looked up with sudden recognition, his face brightening like a lantern lit in the dusk. Without hesitation, the man offered Yushaan a temporary position, as though kindness had circled back to reward what he himself had forgotten he'd given. Moments later, destiny took another gentle turn. An old friend appeared out of the crowd, surprised yet overjoyed, and introduced him to someone in search of an assistant, a connection woven with a delicacy only divine planning could craft. And before the sun even thought of kissing the horizon, Yushaan found himself standing before not one, but three gleaming opportunities, each one sweeter, softer, and more perfect than the last. Like blessings descending in waves upon a heart that had finally learned the language of trust. He returned home glowing, the weight that once drowned him now replaced with wings. That night, Yushaan stood on his balcony. Above him, flocks of birds glided back to their nests, bellies full, wings unwearied. Their silhouettes carved the sky like strokes of divine poetry. And he understood. Provision had never left him. Allah had always been sending it. He simply needed to trust enough to see it. From Tedde, Yushaan walked through Lagos with a heart like an opens, a sky washed clean after a sacred rain, wide enough to cradle hope and soft enough to let blessings land gently upon it. His steps became slower, quieter, almost musical, as though every grain of sand beneath his feet whispered encouragement. The winds that once felt harsh now brushed past him like kind companions, carrying with them scents of the sea and secret messages of mercy. Every marketplace echo, every distant call of a vendor, every fluttering bird overhead felt like a reminder that sustenance was written for him long before he learned to worry. He moved through the city anchored by faith, lifted by trust, and carried by the same unseen hands that guide the birds home every evening. Hands that paint their flight with certainty and return their wings with provision wrapped in divine tenderness.